Congratulations, John Larroquette, on 4 Emmy nominations.
There are witnesses there who have theories of multiple assailants of different ethnic backgrounds than Mr. Simpson that we think need to be pursued.
With a trial date set, O.J. Simpson's defense team alludes to the possibility of a mystery witness.
While legislators in Washington, D.C. tackle an anti-crime bill, Oklahomans wonder how it will affect us.
And the Ozark Trail may have cleared the path for the famed Route 66.
From Channel 2, this is the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Karen Keek.
And I'm Jerry Weber. Thank you for joining us. The judge in the O.J. Simpson case sets a date for his trial.
And talk of a mystery witness surfaces during today's hearings in Los Angeles. Now, because of that, defense lawyers want access to the police investigative reports on an individual who could exonerate Simpson. Jim Hanchett has been following the story in Los Angeles and files this report.
The Simpson case already has a mystery envelope and mystery tapes. Now, is there a mystery eyewitness who was near the murder scene and has information that could clear O.J. Simpson? Defense lawyers say the answer may be yes.
There is at least one witness who has the police have talked to some time ago who has given testimony or evidence that is totally inconsistent with the theory of a lone assailant and is entirely inconsistent with the fact that Mr. Simpson is that assailant.
The witness reportedly is a self-described burglar who was casing Nicole Simpson's neighborhood, heard a woman scream, and saw 2 white men flee. Simpson's lawyers want police to turn over investigative reports on the witness before the trial, now set for September 20th. Prosecutors consented.
When those reports of all those contacts and interviews become available, we will turn those over to the defense.
O.J. Simpson went back to jail after the brief, cordial hearing, and Cochran went on with the tease.
You mentioned a mystery witness. I can't comment on that. You'll hear more about it later.
This is AC. I have O.J. in the car.
Meanwhile, Simpson's friend A.C. Cowlings returned to court today for a brief appearance. Cowlings was at the wheel during that low-speed pursuit. Prosecutors want more time before they must decide whether to file charges against Cowlings for helping Simpson flee justice. In Los Angeles, I'm Jim Hanchett, NBC News.
Simpson's murder trial is scheduled to start on September 19th. It was originally scheduled for September 20th, but was moved because of a miscalculation. In other developments, Simpson's 1968 Heisman Trophy and football jersey were stolen from the display lobby at USC.
An anti-abortion activist is charged with killing 2 people and wounding another outside a Florida women's clinic today. This morning, 40-year-old Paul Hill allegedly used a 12-gauge shotgun to shoot and kill 69-year-old Dr. John Britton and his security guard. Police have identified the wounded woman as the security guard's wife. Hill is a former Presbyterian minister who is known for supporting violence against abortion doctors.
It makes me angry. It makes me hurt for our country that this kind of terrorism can exist. It is really sad.
We condemn violence of any kind. Fighting the violence of abortion with violence against people who are already born is the last thing in the world that we think should be done.
When police in Florida arrested Michael Griffin for killing Dr. David Gunn, it was Paul Hill who drafted a petition calling the killing of a doctor who performs abortions justified. Now Hill himself is behind bars for apparently taking the same action.
Violent crimes like these are a concern all over to millions of Americans and Oklahomans. And tonight, Congress and the White House appear to be close to implementing a new anti-crime law. Brad Rogers reports on what Oklahomans can expect.
While Tulsa police work the streets, congressional negotiators break a 6-year deadlock on a crime bill. A bill police officers say finally has teeth. To punish criminals, the $30 billion crime bill includes new prisons, a 3 strikes and you're out provision, life in prison for 3-time violent offenders, and expanded use of the death penalty for crimes like drive-by shootings.
This is probably the most aggressive, innovative crime bill in 50 years. We're putting $30 billion really back into the local areas and the states throughout this country.
Oklahoma Congressman Mike Sinar was one of the House negotiators, but what he's most excited about are the preventive measures in this bill. A ban on 19 types of assault weapons, federal funds for community programs aimed at keeping troubled youth out of a life of crime, and also money to put 100,000 new cops on the street.
And because of an amendment I was able to get in the conference, half of those policemen will go to cities less than 150,000. So a lot of the counties throughout northeastern Oklahoma and a lot of the city police departments will get some of that relief.
Domestic violence advocates are also happy to see the federal government putting some real money behind this crime bill.
Particularly in states that are highly rural, like Oklahoma, where there may not be other funds available for domestic violence programs in rural counties. Those are going to be critical funds. Same thing goes for urban areas. It's just going to be a real boost in terms of funding.
What DVIS and local officers want now is for this crime bill to pass the House and Senate intact so the president can make it law. Brad Rogers, Channel 2 News.
Democrats predict the compromise anti-crime bill will win quick final approval from the House and Senate, and even Republican opponents can see the GOP can't stop it. President Clinton promises to sign it into law without delay.
Tulsa police have informed us that James William Smith Jr., this week's Most Wanted, featured on our Wednesday night newscast, saw himself on the program and turned himself in today. Smith was being sought on a motel robbery charge from earlier this month.
2 teenagers died last night for less than $2 worth of gasoline. Police say they burned to death in a stolen car. Jeff Gradney reports an apparent petty theft ended in tragedy.
Police say it may have started as a joyride. It ended here. And the man working on this van saw it all. He's been working here since before dawn.
I've not had any sleep since the incident happened. Probably won't get any, not for a while.
He can't stop thinking about what happened here.
I noticed they stole some gas, they spun out at the store, lost control of the car, and they hit 2 poles. The second pole made it ignite from the inside of the car. I heard them kicking the door trying to get out during the time I was approaching the car.
Witnesses attempted to pull one of the passengers from the car, but wasn't able to due to the intensity of the flames.
It was a very tragic thing watching 2 human beings burning and couldn't help them. The one boy was up over the seat burning, and the other was burning from the head to the waist.
They burned beyond recognition. Police say they were boys, about 15 or 16 years old.
I can't stand it, you know. It has a great effect on me to watch 2 human beings burning for $1.23 worth of gas. Lost their lives.
Police think they know who the victims are, but say they are waiting on the medical examiner to check dental records.
For the second straight day, crews up in Rogers County searched for a woman believed to have been hit by a train early yesterday morning. Police say 40-year-old Charlotte Taylor was walking on a train trestle over the Verdigris River when she was struck by the engine. The man she was with was able to outrun the train and to get across the bridge. The search is concentrated mostly on the river, but crews are also searching the riverbanks.
LDDS wants another chance to buy Tulsa's Wiltel Communications. This time, LDDS is rumored to be offering $2.5 billion. Last spring, they offered $2 billion to buy the fledgling long-distance company, but Williams said no. Now they've sweetened the offer. USA Today is reporting a deal between the 2 companies is near, and the New York Times reports a 3-day retreat is planned for management from the 2 companies. Experts say nothing is certain, but believe if the sale goes through, it could be good for Tulsa.
Everything's rumors, the problem. Nobody knows anything concrete, but I've heard rumors that because of the commitments that Williams has here with Wiltel and the capital investment they have here, there's a possibility that we could see a net influx of people.
If Williams accepts the money, Wiltel LDDS will be the nation's 4th largest long-distance company.
The State Board of Education says overall, this year's standardized test scores show student scores are steadily climbing in most Oklahoma schools. In part, the state superintendent attributes the good news to smaller class size. However, 14 state schools landed on the academically troubled list, and Tulsa has more schools on that list than any other city. Those schools are McLean High School, Monroe Middle School, Houston, Penn, Greeley, and Jackson Elementary. The state will provide academic aid to McLean, Monroe, and Houston to help those schools increase their scores. Well, still to come on Channel 2 News, the U.S. Senate votes on Judge Stephen Breyer as the next Supreme Court Justice.
Coming up in sports, last year's PGA Championship winner is a step closer to defending his title in Tulsa.
And a little bit later, another road may have cut the path for the famous Route 66.
And it's another beautiful night in northeastern Oklahoma with pleasant temperatures continuing. The radar has been showing some showers and storms out in the high plains to the west and northwest, but doesn't look like much of that will make it here with temperatures able to continue dropping. Some places are already down into the 60s to our north, and that's where we'll be by morning. Stay tuned for all the details.
Down on all 94s in stock and no payment for 60 days. While other dealers are closing out 93s, only Classic Chevrolet Geo in Owasso gives you 94 program cars at no money down and no payment for 60 days. 94 Corsicas, 94 Cavaliers, no money down, only $196 per month. 94 Euro Luminas or Caprices, your choice, just $13,986. Keep your cash for summer fun. No money down and no payment for 60 days on all 94s. Only Classic Chevrolet Geo, 86th Street North and 169, only in Owasso.
When many congressmen have gone to drink with lobbyists in the evening, this is where you can find Dave McCurdy and Pam. The McCurdys have been married 23 years. Pam is a doctor who specializes in children. Dave is a congressman who grew up around Yukon and was taught by his working parents to earn his own way. His values, hard work, and leadership on welfare, military affairs, and spending limits have won him national respect.
Amen.
Isn't this the kind of man you want to represent Oklahoma in the U.S. Senate?
As standard equipment, the Honda Accord LX has power windows, door locks, and mirrors, stereo cassette, cruise control, and dual airbags. Cool. And it still costs over $1,400 less than the Camry LE. But if you think that's impressive, the Honda Civic LX has these same standard features, and it costs over $1,700 less than the comparably equipped Corolla DX. Want to be even more impressed? Come see your Honda dealer this weekend for a deal that's far from standard.
Fair Meadows is giving you an opportunity to honk if you love horse racing. It's the Coke KJRH Extra Horsepower Quinn Chrysler Plymouth Neon Giveaway. We'll give one car key away each night from July 28th through August 6th. That's 7 chances for you to win. On the final night, someone will put in their key and race away in a new Quinn Neon. Entry forms and details at Wendy's. Post time, 6 p.m.
Sticker ripping days are almost over. You only have a few days left to rip the sticker for the best prices of the year on all our Chevys and Geos.
I ripped it good.
Save $11.98 on this new S-Series pickup with air, cassette, sliding rear window, and aluminum wheels. Then rip the sticker for even bigger savings.
My Cavalier was just $94.45. Then I ripped the sticker for an even better deal.
Rip it. Rip it.
Sticker ripping days only come once a year, so get to your local Chevy Geo dealer now, because it all ends soon.
The U.S. Senate approved Stephen Breyer as the nation's 108th Supreme Court Justice. Breyer is expected to be sworn in next week, replacing Justice Harry Blackmun. After today's 87-9 confirmation, Breyer pledged to, quote, make the law work better for the people. All 9 votes against Breyer came from Republicans. Oklahoma Senator Don Nichols was one of the Republicans who voted against him. Democratic Senator David Bourne voted for the confirmation.
After 2 days of House hearings, the Senate today took its first crack at the Whitewater affair. Republicans hope the less restrictive Senate rules will provide more information regarding the Clintons' role in an Arkansas land deal.
This committee has learned, and the American people will see, that the White House has concealed, disguised, and distorted the truth, all in the service of politics and the president's self-preservation.
Senator D'Amato claims diaries, memos, and previous testimony show the White House was trying to hide the president's investment. The Senate committee also looked into the apparent suicide of Deputy White House counsel Vincent Foster. A special prosecutor has ruled there was no foul play in his death.
President Clinton orders 200 American troops to provide airport security in the capital of Rwanda. That story tops our look at tonight's World Report. A White House spokesman says nearly half of those troops will provide security for the crews trying to reopen Kigali's airport. Also today, the president asked Congress for $320 million in new aid to help Rwandan refugees. In Denmark, a landslide buries a vacationer and injures 4 others at a vacation resort. Part of a cliff on the island broke loose and crashed on the beach. The rubble covered nearly 200 yards of the beach. Military experts have been called in because another rock is in danger of falling. In Washington state, wildfires continue to burn throughout the state. So far, the blazes have consumed more than 50,000 acres, forcing firefighters to keep their distance. In Wisconsin, a small plane crashes into an apartment complex which houses elderly and disabled residents. None of the residents were injured, but the pilot and passenger were killed. A fire department spokesman says the plane had just taken off when it hit the entrance of the building and flipped upside down. The FAA has been called in to the site to conduct an investigation into the cause of the crash.
Well, it was a beautiful autumn-like evening in northeast Oklahoma. What will the weekend be like?
Meteorologist Gary Shore up next with a complete weekend forecast.
A lot of little touches go into every new Plymouth Neon. A very powerful 132 horsepower engine, a spacious cab-forward interior, and a special chip-resistant finish. And oh, one more thing, dual airbag protection. So it always practices safe driving. Say hello to Plymouth Neon. $94.75 for starters, $13,000 nicely equipped. Highly huggable, low price at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Coming up, Tulsa's forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Shore.
Ready to brighten up your home without spending a bundle? Come to Walmart, where you'll find the perfect mix of low prices and top-quality name brand paint, like Glidden for the interior and brand new House Beautiful for the exterior. You'll also find helpful paint pros like Brian, who can custom mix up to 3,000 different colors for you.
Quality paint supplies and low prices. It's the perfect mix.
And a great way to make sure your project is a big hit.
Moody's Jewelry announces their annual Christmas in July sale. All of Moody's fine diamonds, gold chains, watches, and more drastically reduced. Listen, all gold chains, 1/2 off. All diamond stud earrings and solitaire pendants, 1/2 off. 1-carat diamond tennis bracelets, regular $699, now $399. You can lay away your selection till Christmas when you shop this spectacular Christmas in July clearance extravaganza at all 5 Moody's stores. Moody's, where quality makes the difference.
Public notice, the TAW is back to reduce the remaining 94s before the 95s arrive. Over 1,000 vehicles have been made available to Riverside Chevrolet in Tulsa. Every car, every truck, every conversion van, new program and used must be sold. Save up to $15,000. Get on-the-spot financing. Choose from hundreds of Chevy trucks, extended cabs, and 4x4s. Conversion trucks, TAW sale price at $299 a month. Hurry, Oklahoma. Don't miss the TAW stock reduction sale to make room for the new 95. Save thousands now at Riverside Chevrolet, I-44 in the river.
Hello, I'm Dennis Stone.
And I'm Lisa Stewart. On the next number 1 country, Confederate Railroad tells us about their 4-legged music video co-star.
Naomi Judd is ready to reveal her life on prime time.
Joe Diffie celebrates the first moonwalk.
Plus, superstitious artists spill the beans when it comes to stepping on stage.
Watch Number 1 Country Saturday night at 6:30 on Channel 2.
And a pretty good looking weekend to you, everybody. Basically high pressure over the western states. You can see the clockwise swirl indicating a high pressure center. The big low kind of sitting up in the northeastern part of Canada and things going around that. And so that puts us in a northwest flow still, but it's actually almost more northerly tonight. As you can see, thunderstorms that formed by the Rockies that in the past weeks have tended to come right down towards us are tonight being suppressed down more into the Panhandle area, so that's good news. Taking a look at temperatures in green country with skies still mostly clear, it's plummeting in some of the rural valleys, already down to 65 at Jay, 66 at Tahlequah, Cookson down at 64 by Lake Tenkiller, and that's right now. 66 as close to us as Claremore with 69 at Pryor, low 70s most places to the south and west of us. And The air's dry enough that it'll drop pretty far again, but I don't think we'll have another shot at a record low after 3 nights in a row that we missed it by 1 degree. Tomorrow morning's record low is 55. I don't think so. Let's take a look at our weather headline. Mild and 65 to start the day, then 79 by midday with a 20% shot at a few showers or thunder showers in the western sections mainly in the morning hours. Then tomorrow afternoon going from 79 at lunch to about 85 for a high. That's still 10 degrees below normal, but warmer than anything we've had this week. Amazing temperatures. And a 20% shot of some afternoon thunder showers mainly around the hills to the south or southeast, but it will be just a little more humid. 73 degrees now, and the humidity has crept up a little bit over the last day with the southeast winds at 5. The barometer's rising slightly. The ridge still not too far away to the east, and the high of 82 after a low of 61. In fact, the average high for this week has been in the low 80s. Mold poor tomorrow. Pollen and pollution should be on the lower end of the fair scale. No significant problems I'm expecting. And the radar view does show those thunderstorms out in the Panhandle. Again, some thunder showers around the isolated basis in the Mountain West. And we're also seeing more showers and storms, some of them heavy in Florida. And you can see a low pressure kind of stuck in Ohio. That's going to keep the wet weather going in the east. As a matter of fact, tomorrow that front will still be stalled along the east coast with more showers and storms likely there. Temperatures generally in the 70s and 80s, while 90s will start to build towards us and may get here by the 1st of next week. 84 in Los Angeles, though. And here's what we're looking at for our local details now. Temperatures by tomorrow morning generally in the 60s, although some upper 50s in those cooler valleys, as you saw over east of Lake Tenkiller, quite chilly. Then highs tomorrow in the mid-80s most places, some upper 80s, about a 20% chance is all of a thunder shower, and the wind from the south-southeast about 8 to 18. Over the next 4 days, the temperatures will creep up very, very slowly and stay close to 90 degrees. As far as the outlook for the next 90 days, August, September, and into October, heat wave likely east, cool to toss-up for Oklahoma, and also kind of slightly favoring wet for Oklahoma, but lots of wet weather again for the Midwest and the East Coast.
We've had some of that this summer.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Coming up in sports, a major announcement out of the Kansas City Chiefs training camp.
And after last night's fight, what's in store for Tulsa's Tommy Morrison? Sports next.
Car dealers who push you into low monthly payments for 72 months may not be doing you any favors. After 6 years of 8% interest, a $16,000 Thunderbird will end up costing you over 20 grand. At Fred Jones Ford, we'll explain this to you up front and give you some other affordable options, like leasing, so you can get into that Thunderbird without having to pay for it for life. True Blue Fred Jones. It's a car payment, not a mortgage.
Channel 2 presents the Coke Extra Horsepower Contest at Fair Meadows. On August 6th, you could find yourself in the winner's circle with a brand new Dodge Neon from Mike Quinn Dodge. To enter, pick up your entry form at any participating Wendy's restaurant, then head straight for the races. Drop your entry in one of the specially marked boxes at Fair Meadows, and you could win a Dodge Neon in the Channel 2 Coke Extra Horsepower Contest at Fair Meadows.
When you live in the onion capital of the world, you know a good onion ring when you taste it. So when the folks in Vidalia, Georgia want onion rings, they go to Sonic. Sonic makes their onion rings the old-fashioned way, from scratch. And right now, you can try and order a Sonic's double-dipped rings along with a famous made-to-order burger for just $2.49. The Burger and Ring Special. People here think it's a capital idea.
Ever seen one of these? No, you haven't, because this is the future of television. A tiny satellite dish that receives something new called DirecTV. Now, for those of us who aren't rocket scientists, here's how it works. Every time I turn on the TV, I find something I feel like watching. Let's say I feel like a movie. Oh, do I drive to a video store? No, I stay right where I am. DirecTV is my video store. The hit movies I want start every 30 minutes. Let's say I feel like sports. I get hundreds of pro and college games I couldn't before. And cable networks? I've got everything I want. Everything. And DirecTV is digital. You can get great picture, CD sound, so even that fancy TV set you've been bragging about could look a lot better. And where is DirecTV? In some dream about the information superhighway? Nope. It's in my living room right now. Get your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV at your RCA or satellite TV dealer.
Paul Azinger's return to golf begins next week. Oh, what a shot. The hidden PGA champ will play in the Buick Open in Michigan as a warm-up for the PGA at Southern Hills the following week. It will be the Zinger's first competitive round of golf since cancer was discovered in his shoulder last December. What a great story that is.
And it'll be super to have him in Tulsa.
No question about it, because as good of a golfer as he is, he's a better human being. Just one of the best. All right, we begin with the believe it or not news. Tommy Morrison still has a chance to fight for the heavyweight title. Last night's draw with unheralded Ross Purity had thrown into question Morrison's scheduled October WBO championship fight with Herbie Hyde, but Morrison promoter Tony Holden told me today the fight is still on as scheduled in Hong Kong. Morrison gets the Hyde fight on a technicality since he didn't lose to Purity, even if Tommy didn't win either. Tony Casillas would not win any popularity contest with the Chiefs. No Tony at camp in Wisconsin again today, and the Chiefs are getting tired of it. Sources within the Chiefs organization tell me Casey is looking into cutting loose Tony from the 4-year, $6 million free agent contract he signed in the offseason. Those close to Tony still say Casillas is out with high blood pressure. Chiefs CEO Carl Peterson may need his blood pressure checked after the Casillas watch ends.
No update on Tony Casillas. And again, I hope that in the very near future we can have some type of resolution to this thing. But at this particular time, there's really nothing more I can comment about.
How much time and attention are you giving to that matter, though?
Too much.
Ooh. Carl won't be spending any more time worrying about Tim Barnett's legal problems. The Chiefs releasing the receiver today, one day after Barnett was arrested on charges of assaulting a 14-year-old hotel maid in Milwaukee. Barnett pleaded innocent to that charge today. Chiefs and Oilers in the preseason opener right here on Channel 2 Sunday night beginning at 8 o'clock. The Florida State football scandal has cost the Seminoles some players for a couple of games. All-American linebacker Derek Brooks suspended for 2 games. 3 other players also receiving suspensions after taking part in a shopping spree paid for by a sports agent. Horace Grant should have no trouble paying his bills. He leaves the Bulls for Orlando. A news conference is scheduled for tonight, even as we speak. In fact, the Bulls ripping Grant today, saying he faked injuries last year and backed out of a verbal agreement for 5 years and $20 million to remain with Chicago. Horace is laughing all the way to the bank in Orlando. Cowabunga night at the ballpark. Drillers hosting El Paso and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes on the half shell, Jerry. There they are.
Love
Michelangelo checking things out, and he didn't like what he saw right here. Ouch. First inning, 4 runs for El Paso. Desi Wilson with the error at first base, and it looks bad for the home team, but the good guys rally. Terrell Lowry with a shot to right. Look how close it is to a great catch. Instead, it drops in for an RBI, and the Drillers keep on coming with the bats. Desi makes up for that error with a shot back up the middle, and there you see it, 6-5. Drillers win. Drillers win. Baseball, big league style. They're doing that ear thing, Karen. I don't know what this means, but Don Mattingly's getting his ear plucked on by the Indians. And Albert Bell, who had his suspension reduced from 10 days to 6 days, says, cork this. 34th homer of the season for big Albert Bell to give the Indians the early lead. He begins that suspension on Monday for the cork bat, but it is all Yankees after that. And New York was on to post the big victory as we check all the scores, shall we? Texas leads California 5-2. No perfect games tonight in Arlington. Kansas City's a winner over Minnesota. Chicago beats Seattle. Toronto leads Baltimore. Oakland over Detroit. Boston is a winner over Milwaukee. Yankees over Cleveland in the National League. Montreal beat Florida. Mets over Pittsburgh. Atlanta beats Philadelphia. And Chicago has beaten St. Louis 8-3. Tulsa's Melissa McNamara looking good at this week's LPGA stop. Melissa just a shot behind leader Julie Inkster through 2 rounds of the LPGA Teen Championship in Massachusetts. In Memphis, Fuzzy Zeller leads the PGA St. Jude's Classic by 2 shots after a second round, 65. Closer to home at Meadowbrook, the final round of the AJGA Oklahoma Junior Classic. And check out this incredible shot by Greg Gordon on the par 3, number 16. Jerry, we have our winner, closest to the pin contest. He finished 3rd, just a couple of feet off the guy who did win this thing right there. Jeff Fehrenbruck, his margin of victory. How great would it be? He started the day with a 7-shot lead. He ends it with a 9-stroke victory. Jeff's going to play for the University of Texas, and the Longhorns have themselves a good one.
Wow.
All-state football tonight. West leading the East 9-7 in the 4th, and the Roughnecks have a playoff game tomorrow at 7:30 at Metro Christian.
All-state games. The West has had a great series down there this year.
Yeah, it's in Edmond. We want them back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith.
still to come. The famous Route 66 runs through the middle of Tulsa.
But did you know Route 66 has a mother road of its own? Details when we come back.
Brand new Geo Metros, only $119. $119? $119 a month. Where? Brand new Buick LeSabres, only $338. $338? $338 a month. Where? Over 100 Chevy and GMC trucks. Where? Suburban Chevy Olds Buick GMC in Claremore, where big city selection meets small town overhead to create lower prices. Geo Metros, only $119 a month. Buick LeSabres, only $338 a month. Suburban Chevy Olds Buick GMC. Route 66 on the south side of Claremore.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show, has the outrageous Richard Simmons finally met his match?
I saw a Richard Simmons video I've never heard you talk about. Have you seen this one? It's Richard Simmons' screw it, eat whatever you want video. You know? I'm not going to take more of this. I am not taking this.
Plus, emergency first aid tips with Jay and Kenny Loggins, NBC Tonight.
So, how about a little good news? Watch Channel 2. We told you how to beat the cost of flying. We told you how to clean up after the storm for free. We showed you how to enjoy your favorite foods without too much fat. We warned you about potential disaster. We showed you where to get a free emissions check. We told you how you can help needy people in another country. News with a twist. Good for a change. Channel 2 News. Get used to it.
Hundreds of people have taken advantage of the demand NAFTA has created for used cars in Mexico by cashing in their old used vehicles for brand new or program cars and trucks. The Mexican buyer is still paying up to double for trade-ins, but time is running out. $500 vehicles could be worth $1,000. $1,000 trade-ins could be worth $2,000. The Mexican buyer only has a few days left before he heads south, so don't miss out. Bring your trade-in to Keystone Chevrolet GL right now. Open 24 hours a day on the Keystone Expressway in Sand Springs.
Public notice, the TAW is back to reduce the remaining 94s before the 95s arrive. Over 1,000 vehicles have been made available to Riverside Chevrolet in Tulsa. Every car, every truck, every conversion van, new program and used must be sold. Save up to $15,000. Get on the spot financing. Choose from hundreds of Chevy trucks, extended cabs, and 4x4s. Conversion trucks, TAW sale price at $299 a month. Hurry, Oklahoma. Don't miss the TAW stock reduction sale to make room for the new 95. Save thousands now at Riverside Chevrolet, I-44 in the river.
Step onto the information superhighway with Channel 2's exclusive data center. Email us your comments, concerns, story ideas anytime on Prodigy at this ID number.
Finally tonight, some people call Route 66 the Mother Road, but the Mother Road has a mother.
And Galen Culver went in search of the few remaining traces of the Ozark Trail.
I just asked people, the locals.
There are no historical markers here. No signposts show Jimmy Blue where to find the mother of the Mother Road.
This is it. 1914 Ozark Trail Bridge.
But just off Route 66 near Arcadia, buried under 80 years of brush, the Ozark Trail lives on in a bridge over a creek long since dry.
Really, like I said, it was like finding a dinosaur. I couldn't have been happier had it been a dinosaur because, you know, I was looking for the Ozark Trail, and this is it. I don't think I'd be in that good a shape if I were 80.
Jimmy found 3 bridges like this near Arcadia. That and some old pictures are all that's left of a road that once connected small towns like Chandler that wanted something a little smoother for the burgeoning number of cars driving through.
The main drive between establishing a road such as the Ozark Trail was the need for a good, improved roadway connecting the oil fields of Glenpool, Sapulpa, Tulsa area with the Oklahoma City area. It was made known at the very start that each county would have to finance their own part of the project.
In 1926, the federal government created Route 66, and much of its path through Oklahoma followed the Ozark Trail, or the old OT as it was written on the Wellston Hotel.
So in about 1909, 1910, that was the 2 main years that was promoted. But I think it was quite an adventure to travel on these country roads at that time in automobiles. Not many people did it.
The bridges and a few retaining walls are all that remain of the OT. Route 66 took its place in the age of the auto and in our memories. But if you look hard enough under the pavement and brush,
it's still there, hanging on a while longer. Galen Culver for NBC News.
Tell you, some of those old photos, the road looks pretty good for that time. I'll tell you.
Really, I didn't know that it was even existed.
Cars didn't have a lot of springs back then either.
Oh.
That's our time. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend.